I am not going to be all like, I'm going to be honest. It's, you know, a lot of people might say something like Jesus or God or some dead person from their past. I believe 150% that in my next chapter of this journey, I'm going to see all those people again. I'm going to get to sit down and have dinner with Jesus. I'm going to meet God. All of my relatives, like, I want to have talks with the relatives of mine, the cavemen people, like where our family tree started. I would actually like to sit down with a bunch of my relatives from days gone by, like billions of years ago, because actually I have a few questions for everybody, and I'd like to maybe understand how things cooked up in our family. But I believe in my heart I'm going to see all of those people again someday. And the ones that are in heaven or going to wherever the next place is. The people from my past who are dead that I might have wanted to have a chat with, maybe to like tell them off or something because I thought maybe they were evil or something. They're probably going to be in hell and I'm not going to see them. So where I'm going, I'm only going to see the good people from the past. Everybody. Jesus, God, my baby, my relatives, my husband, everybody I'm going to see. So I wouldn't make this wish, I wouldn't waste this wish on one of them because I'll see them again. Then there's probably a lot of other people that would say some things like, I don't know, Oprah Winfrey or the president. Well, maybe not this president. Or some like really powerful, famous person. And no, actually, here's the person who I would most want to have dinner with right now if I could. You guys know that, you know who my favorite band is, right? Who is it? Well, it's one of them. Five Finger Death Punch. So the lead singer for Five Finger Death Punch, his name is Ivan Moody. They call him Ivan Moody. People that know him really well, he goes by Ghost because he's a very interesting person. I've written about him in several of my blog pieces. He is, he's kind of the maniac. He's kind of a maniac. He's been through a lot of different things. Of course, if you've ever seen him, he's covered in tattoos from head to toe. Like literally, he's got a tattoo on his skull from here to here. I think he's got a tattoo like on or near his eyeball, like everywhere. Like I haven't seen his whole body, but what I've seen, he's pretty much a walking jar of ink. And also, Ivan Moody is he's an admitted recovering alcoholic. He almost died from his addiction, and his alcohol addiction almost cost him like everything. And he overcame himself. He overcame his addiction. If you get to know him, I follow him on Instagram, and he's actually very personable with his fans, believe it or not. As a matter of fact, through this whole COVID situation, one of the things I've noticed, and I've found him even more endearing than I already did, is that I've noticed that there are a lot of celebrities or people with platforms that we're not really hearing much at all from them. I mean, of course, everybody's sequestered with their families, and the powerful, influencing personalities, I don't know what they're all doing, but I do know that this particular character, Ivan Moody, he has really been engaging with all of us, his fans, in a very genuine way. He has made it a concerted effort to, he has live time with all of his fans, like at all random hours of the night. He checks in with everybody. He tells us how he's feeling. He's kind of Ivan reminds me a lot of me. We have a lot of similar characteristics and personality traits that I can see. I don't know him personally, but from what I can gather, he's very he's, on stage, he's larger than life. He is like one of the most powerful musical presences that I think I've ever seen or heard. He's got a voice. The man, he is just like, his music isn't for everybody. It's kind of rough, and it's kind of hard and rough, and but the actual music, but the words to his songs, the lyrics to his songs, this is how I started to love Ivan Moody. A lot of you know that, well, I've written about the fact that my son Christian doesn't really communicate well with people as a whole. I'm one of the only people that he does communicate with consistently, and he doesn't necessarily talk to me in words, but what Christian has been doing since, I guess he was about 16 years old, Christian will tell me how he's feeling with music. It is not uncommon, and this is literally just every once in a while. Sometimes it's more frequent than other times. He'll send me songs at all different, sometimes they're in the wee hours of the morning. I mean, for a while there, I was getting songs from him like about 2:30, 3 a.m., 4 o'clock in the morning, and it used to alarm me when his text would go off, because every time your kid sends you a text in the middle of the night, you automatically assume the worst. But I've gotten used to Christian sending me his songs. This is how he tells me what he's feeling inside, and explains the trauma and the emotions and even his joy. He speaks to me in music. And it was Christian, I guess it was about, I want to say it was about 8 years ago, maybe. I forgot what it was, but the first song that one of the first songs Christian ever sent me, in this music thing that he does, was a song by Five Finger Death Punch called, I Remember Everything. If you've ever heard that song, it's a really, 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 when I ever got that song from Christian, if you go in Google and you look the words up to that song, like, if you can make it through that song without crying, it's a very powerful statement about what a truly broken person, and in the case of this song, it speaks a lot to the plight of a child who grew up in clearly grew up in a toxic childhood home. And the song it's a ballad, actually. It's one of the most beautiful Five Finger Death Punch songs. If you're not really into heavy metal music, this song most people can handle. It's got a beautiful, beautiful melody. It's very, 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 very touching, and it pulls emotions out of anybody that has a heart and warm blood going through their veins. But the song is about an angry boy who is looking back at his childhood, and it's basically a song to his mother and father and his family, saying, guess what? You may not realize this, but I remember everything that I heard, saw, felt. And that's the first time I ever heard of Five Finger Death Punch, was when Christian sent me that very first song. It twisted me, actually, for so long. And when Zach was alive, he would send Zach songs as well. Sometimes he would send them to the both of us. Christian and Zach were very, very, very close with each other. That's really sad too, because Zach was one of the only people that Christian ever really trusted, just like Gia. And what happened with Zach right now is really kind of twisting him up. He knew what was gonna happen if he did what he did to me and Christian and Gia. And that was his struggle for the longest time. But my point is, Zach started listening to Five Finger Death Punch, several years ago when I did, and we loved it. There were so many. In fact, when Zach ever heard the song Remember Everything that Christian sent me, and then he listened to the song, it broke him down. I remember it just as clear as just as though it was happening right now. We were driving in the car, and I told you before, Zach was very stoic with his tears and those type of tender emotions that he had buried inside himself about his family and his mother and his father and his brothers and his sister and all the terrible shit that they did to him. And when Zach first heard that song, it tore him up. Like, honestly, it leveled him, the words to that song. So over the last 7 or 8 years, what's happened with that particular band and me in my journey the last decade, one of the things that has been the most powerful healing survival tool for me is finding my voice and finding my words, which clearly you must all be fucking sick of by now, or you're not. It is what it is. I found a lot of my broken pieces. I found a lot of my words. I found a lot of my voice. I found some anger, some rage, sorrow, joy. I found a lot. I found strength. I found courage. I found the ability to tell the world and certain people in it, basically, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm allowed to feel all the things that I feel that I never knew I was allowed to feel. And that band, Five Finger Death Punch, that music was a big part of my mental health journey, therapy. And I cannot say it enough. All of the members of that band are very, very, very amazing human beings. But if any of you ever really want to be adventurous, look them up a little bit. I mean, yeah, the tattoos on the eyeballs and like the raging and the screaming and throwing guitars around on the stage, it is what it is. Those are their feelings. That is their voice, and it's a power that music and the men that perform it, they give this power. They love their fans, and they basically are the voice for the broken people, the left behind, the castaways, the downtrodden, the lonely. They're the voice for people who were their own worst enemies, just like I was, just like Ivan was, just like a lot of the people in that band are true phoenixes in every sense of the word. Like, literally came from piles and piles and piles of ashes to really actually stellar human beings. So with that, if I could have dinner with anybody in the world, it would be Ivan Moody. I always laugh and say, like, if there's someone that I really, 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 really like or really want to get to know, I call it my Lucky Charms moments, where there's certain people in this world, and there haven't been that many of them, those people that I've come across in my life that for some reason, I just think it would be fun to like sit up one night, sitting in front of a TV or like sitting outside by a fire and like just shooting the shit. And like, I love Lucky Charms cereal and eating Lucky Charms and like telling life stories. And that to me that's what I would want to do. If I could get a hold of Ivan Moody right now, I'd be like, listen, I'm going to come to Las Vegas. Let's sit down and have some cereal together and talk about life and all of let's trade Phoenix stories.